Okay, let's start with 3a. For question 3a, you can see very clearly that it is variable separable, and I am sure it works. I did it with the other class. Of course, I did it firstly using variable separable method, but this question, the intent of this question is not variable separable. The intention of this question is to tell students to use to treat this as a first order linear differential equation, and to start off with the IF thinking 3a. So the intention for 3a is like this, no? 3a, it is dy dx equals to y cos x, y cosine x plus cosine x. Right. We will treat this as a first order linear differential equation by rewriting this as dy dx. Maybe I write like this to make it very clear. So if you do recognize that this is a first order linear differential equation, step 1, what do? You will find the integrating factor. Right? And then the integrating factor will be, if you perform your steps, which I believe you can, this is your integrating factor. I hope you know the step. No, Caitlin, how did I get this? Okay, you're not yet ready mentally. You're here physically, but mentally not yet. Okay, it's arriving soon. No worries. To help you recall, it's like that. It came from this. Step 2. Okay. Euler, right? Is it Euler? The one next to Caitlin is what? What? Brandon, Brandon changed it. Now I get confused. Brandon, thank you, gentlemen. Brandon is Euler, right? Yeah. Wait, Brandon first. What is the next thing I'll write, Brandon? Brilliant. Yeah. IF times y integral of, right, cosine x e to the minus sine x dx. And then if you integrate the left hand side, what do you get? You will get e do you agree with me? So therefore, your y is equals to minus 1 plus ce to the sine x. Right, this is actually 3a. So doing by the integrating factor method, you get this 3a. Okay, 3b. X y prime equals to y plus, okay. Three B, X y prime y plus x squared sine x squared sine x. And then what you have is this. Okay? Okay, Euler, what's the first thing I'll do? The first thing I'll do is I will rewrite. Okay. And then Euler, what's the next thing I'll do? IF. Yo. You didn't see it as too fine. Okay, maybe let me just write dy dx. Easier. Dy dx. Thank you. Okay, Euler, just complete it. What is IF in this case? Can you all verify that IF is indeed 1 over x? How define IF again? Now class, it is very important for you to always rewrite the equation so that it is the standard form, Then only you can pick up the right way to find the IF. In case you don't remember, it is just like that. Okay. Check that you do get the same IF as I do. Then the next slide is y times the IF is equals to the integration of and Kurtish and Hill. Is there something that's going on behind?
I forgot to multiply by IF.
Oh. Yes, Zoe asked, you can't see clearly, is it? Good thing about digital, I can straight enlarge it. It's very nice. In the other class, about 5 people have gone fully digital. In this class, let me check. How many people are fully okay? We have one behind. That's good. I think it is your generation thing, no? Okay, also fully digital. Yeah. It should be your generation thing, no? That you'll be doing everything digital, no? That we go to work next time, right? Only one laptop. Okay. Last time, a legal document had been signed hard copy, but these days, you know how I sign legal document? So, especially if you are doing overseas transaction, I will turn on my handphone, and then we do conference, teleconference, and then document I sign maybe on a hard copy, and then after that it be given to someone to transmit it to Malaysia, for example, because they will need to witness that I did sign the document. It's true. This means, but these days increasingly, many contracts are signed on the PDF. Nowadays a lot. Even the courtroom actually uses the courts these days uses electronic documents already. Right. To prepare court documents, you want to know that there are a lot of documents to prepare. It's not easy. It's quite troublesome. If you have been to a law firm, I'm not sure if you've been to a law firm for any reason. I remember going to a law firm. This lawyer has all the piles of papers all around him. And he told me this thing very interesting. He said, had he known that a lawyer has so much to read, he said he wouldn't be a lawyer. Yeah. So better know what it entails in your profession. In my opinion, teaching is the best. To be honest, teaching is the best. So I want to encourage all of you to think about teaching as a career. It's the best. Okay, some are not convinced. Okay, so then with this, we want to use the condition. Using this condition given to you. What do you get for C? Kai-Wen. What's your C? Right. Okay. Okay. So for this particular solution, because it's a particular solution, you want to write down the domain. Kai-Wen, do you want to tell us what are the values that x can take? In the other class, they raise an objection. They say, it seems like for my working, right? For my working, I have excluded the case that x is 0. They say, you know. And I told them, say, actually it's not like that, you know. I said, you want to verify that this is truly a solution to this equation. You can verify it quite easily, right? And this solution, right, requires no restrictions on x, you know. Don't have any value of x will work. Yeah, in the original DE, there's no restriction on x as well, so it's okay, you know, actually. So then you say, then how can you do this now? You just do things illegally. It's true. We are doing things illegally, we obtain a solution, and our justification is, I can verify that this solution is truly a solution. DE, I want to tell you something, DE is still a evolving subject, you know, that although there are many standard DEs that people know out there in the world. Say for example, people who do aerospace, right? They will definitely know the Bernoulli equation, you know, because it's used. But there are many DEs out there in the world that potentially is not yet standard, you know. And then if we need to know the solution, right? Sometimes people guess the solution first, no? And how can people do it, no? Because sometimes you're very expert in the field, you can more or less guess the solution, you know. And then you verify that your guess is correct. And it works this way, you know. Your first guess may be wrong. You try out, and you say, oh, when I try out, it didn't fit in because of this. So you just refine until, you know, it points out until, you get something that works. It's like something like trial and error. It may say that way, it's true. But in math, right, trial and error means to trial and error intelligently, you know. It's not anyhow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I hope that give you a peace of mind that 3B is okay and the domain is okay, and Zoe and Arohi share the discussion. So like I know what's going on with my wrong working. Right. Divide 12 by x lah. It's different. Yep. Yeah, maybe my writing is not clear. Do let me know. So that's 3B. Number 4A. Number 4. Number 4 is dy dx plus y equals to x y cubed. Okay. So they say let z be 1 over y squared. For substitution method, right? Given the substitution, you always first and foremost differentiate the substitution, you know. Okay, let's hear from when I differentiate the z, I get dz dx. How about the right hand side? Is that all? Right. So using the given substitution, I have this line. Okay. And now I want to do a replacement on the original equation. And in this case, I would suggest that you do it in the green color. You do the green color. You want to rewrite the original equation as this. How did I get the green color? Chen Yin. Right. Yeah, I just did it. But why do you think I do this? So that I can immediately replace it with. Right. You can read my mind. That's nice. And this gives you minus 2z equals to minus 2x. So you're done proving it. Simple, you understand? Are you alright? You go to the toilet and wash up. You go to the toilet and wash up. Yesterday night I watched a show and I like to recommend you to watch the show. No? The title of the show is called Ballerina. I'm not sure you watched it before. I watched it, I think this is the third time watching the same movie on Netflix. Last time I used to watch it on YouTube. It's called Ballerina. It's about this little girl who just loves to dance. Yeah. Hi Don, I'm on that you heard of this show or watched this show before? Ballerina. Okay. The title is just Ballerina. If you have Netflix, you go and Google, go and search for it and watch the show. It's really good, very inspiring for your age group. Really. Why I watch it? Because my daughter's age group is it. So as a father, you want to spend time with your child. This is not the best thing. Because after watching with her, we can talk about a movie and that keep our conversation. Yep. So if you have time, because it's a long weekend, spend the 2 hours watching the movie is worth everything. It's worth it. Ballerina. Right. You watched before already? Zoe? Never. Alexis? Never watched. It's just Ballerina, the title. Okay, why do I have too many this thing? This should be plus, sorry, this should be minus. It should be minus, sorry. Should be minus. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, so we have reduced the equation into this form, and then now to solve this DE, you realize that this is actually a first order linear differential equation. You want to obtain the IF first. Okay, let me know if you can't get this IF. Let me know. Okay, what is the next slide, Katish?
Y times I.
Right, y times IF is equals to?
Integration of negative 2x times e to the power 5.
Right. Yo, sure. Are you unwell? Are you unwell? Is it? Okay, yes. Okay, how to get IF, right? Let's recall some theory. Okay, let's recall some theory. First order linear differential equation, right? Always look like this. It always look dy dx plus px y equals to qx. So the moment you see a d that look like this, you know it's a first order linear DE. Then you always start off with step one. Step one, the IF is found by taking e to the power of the px. Step 1. And then in step 2, it will be y times the IF equals to integration. Now, what's happening here is these two steps has hidden from you all the details. And I want to assure you that these two steps work. Then you may ask me, say, what's the logic behind, right? Then we can explain the logic behind later. But in the meantime, I'm just telling you the how. The why, actually we covered previously, but it's okay, we can redo again. But now let's do the how first. The how is, step 1, you want to recognize that this red color fit into this. By combining the red color with the blue, you will see that px is minus 2. The z takes the role of y. Okay, so based on the step 1 that I detailed here, step 1 is you find the IF by taking what, you know, e to the power of integration of minus 2 dx. This is what I did to find IF. And then I get the IF as this. Then step 2 is just to do this like y times IF and so on and so forth. And before I go on, now let me explain to you the logic, you know. The logic behind this method is like this, because if you multiply throughout by the IF, which then becomes e to the power of this dy dx plus e to the power of integral p x dx px y equals to e to the power of the logic is, if you not multiply throughout by the integrating factor, the left hand side, which is this line, this line becomes an exact expression, which is d dx of this. You now want to try to do in your mind to believe that the left hand side is indeed just like that. You want to now convince yourself that it is true that if you were to differentiate what I just showed to you, you get exactly this side. That's the logic. So now from the red line, right? If I integrate both sides, I will in the end get y. If I integrate the left side, I get y times the integrating factor. Why is that so? Because if you integrate something you differentiated, you go back to square 1. So now it becomes like that. That's how I got step 2. Y times the IF equals the integration IF times the QX. Bring a few more pieces up. Go blow your nose in the toilet. Just go blow your nose in the toilet and wash again. Better wash. Go to the toilet and wash. Okay. So that's the logic now. So now that you reach the number 2, right? We reach number 2. We reach this number 2. The question is, how do we do the right hand side? And that's what Kurdish is going to tell me. How do you manage the right hand side? Right. And Kurdish is going to tell me the answer right away. No? I'm sure he can. He says the first one is x e to the power minus 2x. What else? You're not allowed to write. You written it. Okay. And then this one is going to be?
E minus 2x over 2.
Right. So this part here I skip the details. Now give yourself that 1 minute to convince yourself that by parts leads you to this. Now give yourself that 1 minute to work out the by parts on the right hand side. I have deliberately jump steps so that at least you have something to try on the spot. Okay, this class got 2% fully digital. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Ines, are you fully digital? Okay, not yet. Okay. Let's say I was expecting you to go fully digital. You're quite in, no? You're quite in trend, no? Yeah. Going digital is quite nice, no? Say goodbye to eraser. Say goodbye to pen. Let me say goodbye to paper. Quite nice, no? I hope you're alright. Yes, Caitlin? Sure. Okay. If you cannot do the bypass, just alert me, I will do it for you. Anybody wants me or prefer I do the bypass for you? Okay, if you want to, let me do it for you now. Integrating minus 2x e to the power minus 2x. You want to pair them out like that, you know. The aircon is on, is it? In the first stage of the bypass, you ought to get to this line first. In the first stage of the bypass. Can? Okay, this is how I can do by parts. So with the by parts, okay, in case you want to jot down. Okay, so you will then you then say therefore y is equals to x plus half plus c e to the 2x. Yeah. Okay. The bypass is it? Okay. Yeah. Can see it. Which one can see? Which section? This one, the bypass, that's it. this Howard was using the Samsung Note. That was quite cool, quite good. The screen is quite big and it seems like it's very easy to write, and then there's a software built in, to do this kind of writing. Apple one, Apple's a big one, but Apple is expensive. Apple, I'll tell you, everything about Apple is expensive. Apple represents expensive. I've given up using Apple phone, iPhone I given up because I find it too expensive. I now use Samsung. Yeah. At least cheaper. Yeah. But I don't know, even my daughter just learned Apple product. Yeah. She must use all Apple. Like most of you. Yeah, disappointing, agreed. I have not managed to convince her to just let go Apple. Okay. I cannot because she will pester. And then Kenneth, you only have one daughter, right? If you only have one daughter, you have no choice. Because you're so scared that daughter one day doesn't talk to you. That's the greatest fear of parents, don't you know? When you go home, parents always ask you, what did you eat? How are you today? And then when the child doesn't respond, right, the parents get very sad, So please respond and go home, Yeah. The common question that every parent will ask their child is, what do you want to eat today? And the child gets very annoyed, They ask the same question, Your parents ask you the same question every day? What do you eat today? I'm sure they do, No. The parents will ask you, so what do you eat today? They ask you things like this.
No, at home I'm the annoying one who ask what we eating.
Oh, you're the one, Okay, nice. Okay, this question, they give you a condition, They say that y0 equals root 2. Okay, y0 is equals to root 2. Use Did I make any mistake? Y0 equal to root 2 is not a very nice number. Let me see. Okay, Katish, did I make any mistake?
I see your names.
Not very nice. There is something that is missing, I guess. What is it again? Oh, suppose it's Z. Yeah, sorry guys, I make a blunder. Katish, your fault, you didn't alert me.
I made the same mistake as
Great minds think alike. Okay, Z is, what is Z again?
1 over y squared.
1 over y squared. Okay. So C is equal to what? C is 0. C is 0. Check, is it true? Okay. Okay. And because this is a particular solution, we want to write down the domain. For the domain, right? You want to realize that 2x plus 1 must be positive, and therefore x must be more than minus half. Mahil? Same. Got same thing, huh? So Mahil, have you visited Tio? You're in the same project team as him. You never visit him. When visit him? Online. Say one day you and Kabir should buy some fruits and then pay him a visit. I think you should. It's nice, no? Yeah, it'll be nice. Let me just ask, within your class, do you all go to each other's homes? Not boarding, like for example, maybe have you ever been to Tyler's home? Never. ROP, have you invited friends to your home before? My daughter just loves it, you know. She likes her friend to come over and then they will watch Netflix together. Yeah. They watch video together in the room and they laugh and laugh and laugh. I thought this is something nice to do as a young child, that you remember the good times, yeah, that you spend with your friends at home. For me as a school going student, right? After school, I sometimes go to my friend's house to play soccer. I remember once that I went to my friend's house to play wrestling. And I remember one of the person who wrestled with us was his older sister. Funny, no? The older sister like wrestling, no? Okay. So that completes 3B, right? 4. So once you're done with 4, when you look at question 5, if I look at question 5, right? I think that it's easier that you just ignore the write-up at the start of question 5 because it's very confusing. No? I'm going to hold your hands and take you through 5 in a more concise manner. Okay? Let's do a question 5 together. And how are we going to do question 5 now? We're going to do question 5 by first and foremost writing down the equation. The equation is dy dx equals to question 5 x plus 2y okay. This question 5 you could have viewed it also as a first order linear differential equation, you know. You could do this as a first order linear differential equation. However, you could also recognize that this equation, Mahil, what is the name of this equation? What does the word homogeneous mean in the English sense? Homogeneous means what? No, homogeneous 不是. Homogeneous means the same in English. Like, this class consists of homogeneous students. I know you're very sad, you know. How could it be, right? What's the opposite of homogeneous in the language? Heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. Okay, so Kabir, not Kabir, Mahil. So what is homogeneous about this equation? Oops. The degrees of every term in the numerator and the denominator, they all have degree 1. When an equation is such that it's a fraction, and the degree on the numerator and the degree on the denominator for every one of them is the same, we call this a homogeneous DE. And to solve this DE, there's a known method, you know. You see only, you know you're going to use this. So the whole write-up there is trying to explain to you how to do it, you know. But I think the write-up failed, you know. It gets very confused. You know. I'm not sure if really you do understand, you know, what's going on, you know. But in the long and short of things, it is basically telling you that whenever you see homogeneous equation, just do it. Whose tagline is this? Just do it. Yeah, right. This girl is trendy, Nike, she keeps out of this thing. Just do it. Okay. Talking about trend, right? We all know Nike, we know Adidas and so forth, right? Like say those very designer bags, very expensive thing, right? There's this brand called Salvatore Ferragamo. I'm not sure you heard of before. Salvatore Ferragamo. You heard of before? Oh, you are. Also, you're very atas now. Yeah. Then there's I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hermes, is it Hermes? I'm not sure, is it pronounced correctly? Anyway, I remember once I was talking to a friend, and then I say, oh, my shoe is worn out lah. Then she said, go and buy Ferragamo. It's very comfortable. Then I say, how much is it? She say, about $700 to $800. I won't do it. I will never do it, no. I won't spend, I can't afford this kind of money. To spend $700 to $800 on a pair of shoes. Okay, if you are given this substitution, the first thing that you do, Mahir, is what? You differentiate first. Okay, tell me what you have when you differentiate. You must realize that V isn't a constant. V is a function of X. In the A-level exams, if you see a homogeneous equation, you have to automatically use this substitution. Same degree, like it could be like this. They're all second degree. Yeah, it's talking about the functions on the right. I can't help it now. I gotta ask Jianben, are you having sinus or having flu? Are you having sinus or are you having flu? Yes, history of sinus. Because you put the tissue paper by the side of Tyler, right? Tyler can catch it soon. Maybe you can wrap it up with a tissue paper, then drop this thing. Tyler, be careful. Okay. Now that you have already differentiated the left and the substitution, you are ready to substitute. If you substitute, you get this. And then your dv dx turns out to be, it becomes variable separable. So the given substitution will always convert the homogeneous equation into variable separable. Aiden, have you tried this question already, Aiden? You finished this question already? Okay, then the good test. Aiden, don't look anywhere, just look on the screen. Tell me in the end, what do I have? Let's see if he can do it in mind. I believe he can, Just believe. You can't see, Aiden, you can't see, Why, I mean, as in, you didn't bring your glasses today, is it? All this while, you've been sitting there and can't see. And Jingwen becomes your eyes. Why don't you sit in front? I'm just kidding. Why don't you just take the front seat? Just tell your mentor, say you need a front seat. Yeah, I'm sorry to know this now. I remember teaching a boy some years back, not from this school. After drawing on the red, green, blue, at the end of the lesson, he told me actually he's colorblind. There was another student, I was teaching him, I said this way, he was this way. Do you understand? he said he reached to eat. After the 1-2 hours, right? In the end, he told me actually 1 year is 10. I therefore feel sorry now. Ethan, you got glasses now? Oh, you didn't bring today. No, Ethan, no. Okay. In the end, you will get. Sure. Can you all verify that in the end you get v equals to ax minus 1?
It's ax squared. You're right.
Testing me, I know. Testing me. Can you all verify that you do get this? Jingwen, do you get the same thing? You finished it, right? Haven't. And then in the end, at the end of it, you will get y equals to you had gone one step ahead in it. Okay, that is number 5. So number 5, you see, the writing is too much, you know, and I think if I were you as a student, I get very confused what they're trying to tell me, you know. Yeah, I myself when I read it, I find it too heavy, you know. It makes it so hard, looks so hard, you know. But actually, it's just like that. Homogeneous equation has its behavior. Anybody needs more help to get to the answer? Okay, if not, let's progress to number 6. You know, for this logistic model, right? You just have to do it the way we talk about. You know, you just have to do it by looking at the equation. You want to immediately write down that k is 4, L is called the carrying capacity is 10, and your y0 is equals to 3. And then you want to remember the solution that y is equals to y0 L over L minus e to the power minus k plus by blood and sweat. Seriously, after the module is over, after a few more weeks, I'll also forget, you know. And when I revisit this topic, I'll recall again. So in order not to forget, right, you just write somewhere here. No, in between your finger. Then you just going like that. Then going like that. Then you gotta. Okay, anyway, you just have to by blood and sweat, no other choice. Okay? Right. So Jingwen, 6A I've done for you already is 10. What is B? Oops, what's going on? What is answer for B, Jingwen? Remember, it always occurs when it's L over 2. Write down the particular solution. You just have to plug it in. Y equals to 10 times 10 is 100. over 10 minus 3 is 7. Oh, my math. 38. Yeah, 30, right? 30. And then L minus Y naught is 7. E power minus KL is 40. Plus 3. Okay, Jingwen, how do you do 6 donkey? Put Y as how much again? 5, right? Looks like Kenneth is having a cough. You're gonna fall sick by tomorrow. Everyone is falling sick. My daughter told me in her school, everyone is falling sick. She's also falling sick.
Before sick, you guys had to do a presentation. Oh.
Check my calculation, you know, I could be wrong. Check my calculation to see that I'm correct, you know. Jingwen, am I right? Just put the Y as 5 and then solve for your T. JB, what happened? You were nodding, you're hitting your head. Something must have happened.
Just
You record something.
trying to take a screenshot.
I thought it's a eureka moment, you know. Eureka moment. You realize something. By the way, this week we're going to lose Thursday and Friday, you know, sadly, you know. Yeah. Do you know that 7, 8, 9, and 10, they are almost synonymous, no? They are almost the same. When we finish question 10, I'm going to do exam papers here. I don't intend to do the next part of the tutorial. I also don't intend to do the next part of notes yet. I don't intend to. Okay, I intend to just redo exam papers. Because I suspect Mr. Goh is going to announce, you know, about the fate of the last section of the notes. You know, what's going to happen? So I'm going to wait. Okay, number 7. Number 7, 可悦 7A. How do you think it ought to be done? So you say what? Y equals to Y naught times L. How much is Y naught times L in this case? How much is Y naught times L in this case? Brilliant. Then below, L minus Y naught is 2. Simi.
Doesn't it say without?
Okay, let's go back. But you know how to do, right? Okay.
Why you tell some people you say the solution and not mistake? Start from scratch.
Okay, let me make sure it's correct first. Okay, Kayet, they say start from scratch. Kayet, please. How do we start off? It is variable separable. For this question, you will find that it is advantageous for you to put a 7 here and write this as 21. It's easier. Why do we do this now? Then this thing, yep, breaks out very nicely. So you have to do it from scratch. This is how you do it from scratch. Okay, if you do from scratch, the left hand side will tidy up to become this. Again, I have skipped steps. Okay, so there are 2 milestones for you to reach. I'm going to pause for a moment. Is the fan causing you to have this issue? The fan and the aircon, is it?
I think the most thing to blame is cold weather plus heater broken. But it's cold every day.
Heater is broken in the, then you shower in cold water and you survive. And you survive.
Yeah.
Gosh, how long already? How long has it?
Thursday, Saturday.
Wow, this is not acceptable. No. This is totally not acceptable. Why don't you go to other rooms to shower? Go to other clusters to shower. But actually, if you are healthy, for example, you are healthy, like, cold shower is quite good one, you know.
So I like cold shower.
I love
But
cold
I
shower.
think showering cold for like the past 5 days.
Oh, it triggers. In class, I given you 2 milestones to reach. You try to reach it yourself. If you cannot, let me know. I'll gladly do it for you. Okay. Green, 你做了没有 Green, right? Kayet next to you is green, right? No. I know. Wait, I know. So embarrassing. Green is here. Oh, I get confused. Kayet, Ryan, is it? There was 1 year in a class, they really switched identity in my lesson. They fooled me. And I didn't know until the end of the semester. No.
Do that to you.
Please don't. Because in class I call A, then the guy raised his hand, I give the test script to the fellow. Then B, then not without my knowledge, they don't swap back themselves. But when I call A, the wrong A, he acknowledged, you know. Yeah. And for the whole semester he did it. Oh yeah, sorry. I remember your name at one time. Huh? Yeah, I thought it's green. Huh? Okay. Because it changed position, I didn't update this, you know. No. It confused me.
That's what they
Okay, anyway, next to Ke How to get this line? Do you know the blue? You get the two milestones? You got it? Okay, let me check your work. Yeah, getting on to the last one, the next one. Let me check your work. Aha, I got your name. It's Kate. I think it's a behind. It's a guy, I know I Kate. They say hi, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, so now you're clear. So everybody, yeah, once you get this line, from this line, you will obtain this other line. I deliberately jump steps to let you have a chance to try it. If you want to, I can write the one by the side, but you want to try first. I'll get it for you. So I'm going right now slowly, okay? As you try, I'm going right now very, very slowly. Kendall, what color am I using right now? Like what? Legit? I'm choking, you know. Kenneth, come on. What color am I using right now? No. You sure? Okay. I can trust one person now. Jianfen, what color is that?
Color.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. Okay, this person won't feel me. Won't try. He won't feel me. What color am I using? Okay. Yeah, right, it's purple. That's purple. Okay, this is how I got to okay. Okay, so from this line I haven't got to the last line yet. I'm getting there.
That's the fun part. That's what you think. Maybe you have been joking the entire time. It's not.
Okay, so this is entire working. Right, so the entire working is given here. It's the same thing as I did previously, you know. But most of the time, you'll be allowed to just plug and play, you know, most of the time. Okay? So now going back to this, with that thinking found, I can now write down the final solution for 7a, that y is equals to y naught L. Y naught is 5, L is 7, so I get 35 over L minus y naught is 2 what? E to the power minus KL T plus y naught. I just simply make use of my memory work. Let me write more nextly. 21. Okay. Just memory, it's purely memory work. Okay? Purely memory work. Then now you're asked to sketch the family of solution curves. L in this case is 7. Half L therefore is 3.5. Okay. If you have y0 equal to 0, right? Then your graph is just like this. Okay, try drawing the rest. This is the case where y0 is 0. So draw the rest of the graph. You draw first, then we continue. We go through together. I try to avoid drawing on the left side of the axis because there is no negative 5. There is no such thing as negative 5. Then if you start with 1, we start with 1, right? You start off with 1, which is here. Bear in mind, this will be an asymptote. Then it's going to be like this. If you start with 3.5, you only have this part of the graph. And if you start with 5, if you start with 7, you start with 7, right? Or you start with 10. And this is how things work for a graph. Are you all lost? Okay, maybe I should pause and let you take a look. It's quite a standard thing, you know. It always has this kind of shapes for the different starting points. Zoe, you got something to raise? You got something to clarify? What is it again? How to get the curves, is it? The rule of the game is if you start off below the halfway mark, this is the L/2. You will always have an inflection point somewhere. You know, this is the critical part of it. If you start below the L/2, you always get an inflection point somewhere at L/2. If you start off above L/2, you will not have any inflection point. It's just like that, just a curve. Something like sick. No. Yeah, L is a symbol. Maybe I should let you try 8 and 9 and 10 before I go through. I think that maybe because your logistic model is important, you must try. Okay? Maybe you should let you try first. Then next lesson I come back, then we do. Because you must try. You know, if you just sit there and just see how I do it, right, it's not good enough. I should not. Anyway, we're in good stride now. We are in good time. We don't have to rush.